Let me ask you a question. In a street fight, do you want to score points, collect medals, and chase trophies? Or do you want to demolish your adversary and get home alive and in one piece? Because in the chaos of a street fight, punches need to be efficient, effective, and safe. Today, I'm going to show you how to turn your fists into sledgehammers, designed for combat, not sport. Stick around, because what you're about to learn could mean the difference between walking away alive or not walking away at all. Now, for those of you who already think that you have the basic punches down, you're wrong. The reality is most punches taught in boxing, MMA, and even martial arts are not designed for street survival. Use those same techniques in a real street fight and you'll likely end up with a debilitating hand injury or even worse. In this video, I'm going to show you why these conventional methods fall short and how you can punch smarter, harder, and more effectively for self-defense. Punching isn't just about landing a shot. It's about obliterating your opponent's ability to fight back. Now, as I outlined in my books, First Strike and Sinister Self-Defense, the fight doesn't end with a single blow. Once your first strike lands, you must immediately follow up with a relentless barrage of powerful, calculated punches to overwhelm and incapacitate your opponent. This isn't about giving them time to recover or counter. It's about dominating the fight, neutralizing the threat, and staying safe. That's exactly where these techniques shine. They're designed to flow seamlessly, compounding your movements for maximum efficiency and impact. Pictured here is a chart breaking down the hierarchy of combat methodologies within my CFA system. Notice how the first strike methodology, which includes punching techniques, is positioned at the foundation of the use of force continuum. From there, it escalates to combat pressure points, followed by the Widowmaker program, and culminates with savage street fighting. This progression reflects the increasing severity and intensity of techniques as the situation demands, ensuring you're prepared for any level of threat. Now, you can learn more about this hierarchy of combat methodologies in my book, Sinister Self-Defense. I'll include a link in the description down below. Don't forget to subscribe and also hit the notification bell so you never miss a lesson that could actually make a difference in a real fight. And finally, if you know someone who could benefit from this knowledge, be sure to share this video. It might just help them stay safe. All the techniques that I'm going to teach you today come from the fighting stance. Our fighting stance is quite simple. What you want to do is angle your body approximately 45-degree angle from the adversary. Feet are shoulder width apart, knees are bent, and 50% of your weight is on each leg. Chin is angled down, but it's not tucked down. Hands are up, elbows point down. You're in a right stance, the right arm faces forward, left arm is back. On the left stance, left arm is forward and right hand is back. This is our fighting stance. It's important to be relaxed and comfortable because this is your vehicle in which you're going to fight. Another really important thing to understand about the fighting stance is that this is just a reference point in which I'm going to teach you the technique and how to deliver the techniques. You do not ever assume a fighting stance during the pre-contact stage of self-defense. Now, this is a really big problem for boxers and MMA fighters because all they're used to is this reference point. So when they're faced with a pre-contact situation where there's dialogue or something before the fists start flying, they only know about this vehicle. They don't know about a de-escalation stance or a first strike stance to have the tactical advantage. So it's really important when we're doing this. This is just a reference point. I'm never condoning or encouraging to go out to somebody, get into a fighting stance and square off and duke it out. Let me tell you, that's not how it's going to go down. The first technique I'm going to show you is the lead straight punch. From your fighting stance, what you're going to do is you're going to twist and torque your lead foot, hip, and shoulder, and you're going to drive that lead arm into the adversary, just like so. Now, when you throw the lead straight, you need to have weight transfer. We start off in a 50-50 weight distribution, but when we throw this punch, 80% of your weight goes through that front leg. That's where your power comes from. It's important to understand, too, that you can punch vertically, three-quarter, or horizontal. It's completely up to you. You find out what works best for you. So again, fighting stance. We're going to twist and torque, drive that front arm into the opponent's target, and we're going to bring it back. This is your lead straight punch. Now, the chin should be angled down, but it's not tucked down as you throw the punch that they do in boxing, they do it in MMA. Frankly, my opinion is this: if you have to constantly tuck your chin down every time you throw an offensive technique, you shouldn't be throwing the technique to begin with. You're just not ready for prime time. I'm not advocating exposing your chin and throat when you throw punches, but tucking it down really inhibits the body mechanics of any punching technique. Now, this technique can be used while stationary or moving. It all really depends on the angle and the range of the adversary. Also, do not confuse the lead straight with the jab. The jab is a horrible technique to use in a street fight. In actuality, I have a video called Why the Jab Sucks for Self-Defense. Check it out when you get a chance, because it'll really shed some light on the real inherent deficiencies of jabbing in a street fight. The next technique is a rear cross, and this is the heavy artillery of linear punches. From your fighting stance, you're going to twist and torque your rear foot, hip, and shoulder, and you're going to drive the rear arm directly at the adversary. This is your rear cross. Another important point about the rear cross technique is when you throw the rear cross, you're transferring weight to the front thigh. People don't realize that. So if you start off in a 50-50 weight distribution and you throw that rear cross, you should transfer about 80% onto the lead leg. That's how you get power, destructive power. We're not trying to score points or win trophies or stupid medals. We're talking about reality-based self-defense, and we want bone-crushing power. Again, the theme is sledgehammer punching. Transferring that weight to the front quadricep, that's what gives you power. Next are hook punches. Now, it's important to understand that hook punches, generally, they stem from other punches. So generally, if you throw a rear cross, your hook punch can follow. Or if I throw a rear uppercut, the hook punch can follow. If I throw a lead straight, the hook punch follows. Most often than not, you're not going to throw an independent hook punch. Just keep that in mind. Now, to throw the punch, what you want to do is you want to pivot your foot, hip, and shoulder in an arc, and you're going to bring your fist across. You're trying to go around or circumvent his fighting stance. Now, also keep in mind that when you throw a hook punch, you want the fist positioned vertically. You do not want it horizontally. A vertical fist position ensures that you're going to minimize any chances of getting a boxer's fracture or a severe hand injury during the fight. Any martial arts school, any boxing school, any MMA school that teaches a hook punch in a horizontal position is not adapting to reality-based self-defense. So you have to really go through your arsenal and look at it from the perspective of how much risk is there when I throw this actual punch. So our hook punch, the fist is positioned in the vertical position. So palm faces you, palm does not face down. The elbow is bent approximately at 90 degrees. It can vary between 90 degrees to even 120 degrees depending on the situation. Remember, every self-defense situation is different and you have to adapt. That's the key, being able to adapt in a fight. So this is the lead hook punch. This is the rear hook punch. And I know it seems like it's very archy. I'm just trying to be a little demonstrative so you could see the arc of the punch. This is your rear hook. This is your lead hook. Rear hook, lead hook, rear hook, lead hook. Now, when we throw the hook punch, we don't hit the target and retract. We hit the target, we follow through the target, and the elbow naturally descends. So this is the lead hook, this is the rear hook. Lead hook, rear hook. And remember, follow through your target. Like hook punches, uppercuts are also set up. From your fighting stance, what you're going to do is you're going to bend the knees and you're going to rotate the hips and you're going to drive the fist upward. Again, bend the knees, rotate the hips, and drive upward. This is your rear uppercut, lead uppercut. Rear uppercut, lead uppercut. When you throw the uppercut, it has a pumping action. You pump an uppercut. You don't follow all the way through and expose yourself to counterattacks. Fighting stance, we pump it, pump it, pump it. The key to the power of this punch are the legs. People always think it's really muscling with the arms. Nope, wrong. It's the legs. That's what drives the power of uppercuts. And finally, we have shovel hooks. To illustrate the angle of attack, it's important to look at the hook. The hook, your arm is positioned on a horizontal plane. Uppercuts, pretty much a vertical plane. The shovel hook is a diagonal plane. So what we're doing is we're attacking on a diagonal position. Generally, we're attacking his body, or if he bends over, such as, let's say, for example, you do a finger jab or a groin kick or push kick, and the probable reaction dynamic, he falls forward, giving you this facial target. Shovel hooks really come in well. So from a fighting stance, what you're going to do is you're going to have your knees bent. You're going to twist your hips and shoulder, and sometimes your leg, depending if you're stationary or moving, and you're going to drive it on a diagonal path. And you're going to pump it. It's a pumping action. These are what shovel hooks look like. Now, the magic of these techniques is how they flow together. After your first strike, whether it's a lead straight or something else, you need to chain your punches together. A lead straight flows naturally into a rear cross. A hook punch sets up an uppercut. A shovel hook opens the door for another hook. This is the rhythm of destruction, constant, overwhelming pressure that doesn't give the opponent a second to recover. There you have it. Street fighting punching techniques designed for one sole purpose: to end the fight on your terms. Remember, these aren't techniques for points or trophies. They're for street survival. See you in the next video. And until then, remember, strike first, strike fast, strike with authority, and keep the pressure on.